Welcome to CorelDraw Graphics Suite. In this tutorial, I'm going to be using CorelDraw 2018. And if you are new to this tutorial, I want you to stick to the end of this tutorial and also do well to watch and practice the part 2 of this tutorial. This is part 1. Do well to also watch and go through the part 2 of this introductory tutorial to CorelDraw Graphics Suite. Okay, but before I continue, I want to give a piece of advice. Always know the version that suits your PC. Always know the requirement of that version. Okay, it will help you a lot so that you will not go and install a version that's higher than your system and you start encountering problems or forceful shutting down of your system. Okay, or the application itself, or it will start hanging your system. Always know the version that suits your PC. If it is 2022 that is the highest for your system, stick to it. If it is 2024, fine. If it is higher version, no problem. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using CorelDraw 2018 so that even if you're using a lower version, you can understand with me. Okay, so let's move to our tutorial. Now, when you launch your CorelDraw interface, this is what you see. If you have not used it before, it will come out blank like this. Okay, like I resetted this version so that I can show you what I want to show you, though I use higher versions to design. So when you open this application, you see your file. Look at your top left: file, tools, menu, window, help, and the rest. Then you move down to where we have new document, new from template, and open document. Now, new document is when you want to open a fresh page, you want to design. That is when you go to new document. New from template is it has to do with the default template that came with this application software. Now, open document is telling you that if you have an existing file you've done before or designed before or you've saved and you want to open it, you go to open document. Okay, and if you have designed before with this software or with this version on that PC, you are going to see some of those your preview, the design preview down here. That is why I have this recent. It will show here. But since I haven't used this version or I resetted this version, I'm having a blank interface. So for you to set up your workspace, click on new document. When you click on new document, they create a new document to pop out. Okay, you have your name, you have your size, your paper size, you have the number of pages, the color mode, and the rest. Now, looking at name, name is where you want to save, how you want to title your design project. Take for instance, you are designing a wedding program. You just target either wedding program, you can put the name of the person. Always give it a name you will easily remember and know where you are saving it so that you won't look for it. Take for instance the wedding jotter and you know the couple name. Okay, always put the couple name, okay, attached to that file so that you will know based on how you relate with that person or based on what you used to remember. Just save it with that name. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be renaming my own page, or let's say my own design project, to be what? Practical 1. So I'll say practical 1. That is my file name, practical 1. Okay, now for the preset destination, leave it at custom. For my paper size, now if I want other paper sizes, I can select from here. We have the A4, A5, A6, A2, and the rest. We have it. So all these are paper sizes. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using A4. So I click on A4. Now automatically look at the width and height of this A4 in millimeters. Okay, in millimeters. This is where you have your units. Look at inches, millimeters, you have your pixels, you have your point, feet, and the rest. Okay, remember, inches and millimeters are not the same in size and cm. So if you put 2 inches, it's not the same as 2 millimeters, it's not the same as 2 cm. They differ. Okay, so always know the unit you are using. Looking at feet is the one we use to design banners and billboard. Okay, now this is where you have your measurement unit. Now if you look at this place that is showing square and rectangle, it's showing you a portrait orientation and what landscape orientation. There are two orientations in this interface, the portrait and the landscape. Okay, the portrait is the straight one, while the landscape is the one that is longer, okay, in width. Now looking at the number of pages, okay, How many pages do you want for this your design? For example, now if you are designing a wedding program, you know very well that you need multiple pages. You select how many pages based on the set you need. Okay. Now, for the sake of this tutorial, assuming now you want to design a flyer, you know very well it's a page, just one page. Okay, so I'll leave it at number of pages 1. If you want to increase, you can increase from here. Have you seen? Or you can manually type it full. So I'm going to leave it at what? 1 page. Now looking at your primary color mode, you have the CMYK and the RGB. Okay, there's also a video on colors. That is where you understand the CMYK color mode and the RGB color mode. The CMYK is whenever you want to print that file, and the RGB is what? For your online, for screen view. So when I will advise you to watch that video on colors. I've made a video on colors so you can understand what we mean by the CMYK, the meaning, and also the RGB color mode or palette. Now, look at the rendering resolution. It's 300 by default, 300 dpi, that is display per inch. Always leave it at 300 for a better quality. Okay, leave it at 300. Now looking at your preview mode, leave it at enhanced default. Okay, every other thing there, leave it and click on OK, and a new page which is A4 will be open. Now a new page is going to be open. This is A4 paper size. Now looking at our environment, we have the file, we have the edit menu, we have the view menu, layout, object, effects, bitmaps, text, table, tools, window, and help. That is your menu bar. Menus, all the menus, then your menu bar. Now the next bar here is what? Your standard bar. The one that has this A4 paper size and the rest is what? Your property bar. Okay, now this your property bar. Okay, you can also set your page from here. So even if I want to use A5, which is smaller than A4, I can click on A5 and you can see my page has changed. If I want to still use A4, I'll click on what? A4. All these are different paper sizes you can use in this interface. You have your A6, you have your C3, you have your Japanese postcard. They are all different paper sizes. On your own, try to see how it looks like. Okay, so I'll click on A4. Now this is A4 paper size. By my left here, you have your toolbox. It consists of all the tools you need in CorelDraw environment. Looking at this other one here by my right is your color palette. Okay, the CMYK color palette. It consists of all the colors needed in this interface. Okay, that you can use for your design. Okay, now let's assume you open this interface and you did not see your toolbox. You didn't see your color palette. Let's assume it mistakenly disappeared. Okay, don't panic. I'm going to show you how you are going to unhide the toolbox, hide the toolbox, unhide the color palette, and also hide the color palette and other things. So let me hide this toolbox here by my left. I'll right click here. Look at here. Look at where you have your property bar on top here. I'll right click here. Okay, there are several ways to achieve the same thing in this interface. Okay, you can use 3 ways to achieve the same thing in this interface. So pay attention. Now looking at all this that has been ticked, as you can see, customize. You have seen menu bar, status bar, and the rest. Okay, it is showing you that these are the things that are what shown when you launch this interface. Now I'm going to click on what? The property bar. I'm going to hide the property bar. Watch. Have you seen? Something has disappeared. I'm going to do what? I'm going to unhide it again. I'll click on property bar and it will come back. Property bar. Okay, it's going to come back. Now let's look at our toolbox. And I'm going to hide this toolbox. I'll still go back there again. Right click. I'll click on what? As you can see, toolbox. By your left, that toolbox will disappear. As you can see, toolbox has disappeared. I'm going to also click on what? Right click on this same place and do what? Select toolbox. And as I click on it, my toolbox is back. Now for the colors, let's assume the colors are no more there. Okay, and you are looking for a way to bring back this color. Look at this your blank area. Right click on this your blank area, and this small instruction will come out. Go your mouse on view, move to color palettes, move towards CMYK. Let's assume this I want to hide. I'll click on CMYK palette and my color palette has disappeared. To unhide your color palette is the same method. Right click anywhere on this page, go to view, go to color palette and click on what? CMYK. If you want to also add multiple color palette like the RGB, still right click, go to view, color palette, click on RGB palette, and you see that two color mode has been added here. One is for the print media, print media, and the other one is for what? Screen view. That is for your online design. Those two colors are what? They are different in terms of appearance, though they are having the same color, but their variance is different. Okay, that is why I'll still advise you to watch that my video on colors. You understand the difference between the CMYK and the RGB, and also my video on paper sizes, so that you will know which paper size you will use, because there are different paper sizes, and also there are paper sizes you also input those measurements because they are not in the interface by default. Okay, now let's move to our file menu. Look at it here, file. Okay, file menu comprises of the new, use the control N, the new document, new from template. Like I explained before, they are ready-made template that came with the application. Open here is like opening an existing document that has been saved. Looking at open recent, those are the files you've opened with this interface before. Now close is you are closing that interface. Like, let's say that file. Close all is the whole interface. You have save and save as. They are working together, but in some cases one must come before one. Now if you open a new page or a new file like this, which is practical one, for me to be able to save, I have to do save as. That is if I am not put the name before. Take for instance, I'm using the default name untitled one, just like what we saw at the beginning, and I have not saved to my own specific file name. I can come and do save as. Okay, I'll click on save as. Look at, if I click on save as, okay, it will take me to this dialog box, okay, where I will save my files. Okay, this is file name. That is where you will do what? You will have to put in your file name. Now for the save, once I put in my save as file name, okay, the next thing I'll be doing when I press my Control S, I will be doing what? Saving automatically. So I'll no more do save as. Okay, we have the save as template, import, and the rest. Okay, import here is you trying to bring in something into the interface, like maybe a bitmap, which is what? Picture, or you want to bring a background. Okay, it's still a bitmap. Okay, that is it. So when you want to bring in something, you import. Like I said before, there are several ways you can achieve the same thing in this interface. Okay, there are several ways. So if somebody uses Control plus I to import, and that person goes to the menu to do the same thing, and that person will copy and paste, and that person will drag and drop, there are different ways but the same result. So importing here, Control plus I, is bringing a file into this interface. Now export, which is what? Fin, is because I have not opened any file here, I have not started designing. That is why I can't click on export. I cannot export. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to move forward because we have not created any document here. Now I'll move to my edit menu. You have the undo edit, you have the paste, which is Ctrl plus V, and the rest. Okay, you have the step and repeat. Fine, these are all options under the edit menu, and we'll understand this as time goes on. Now looking at view menu, you have your simple wireframe, you have your wireframe, you have your draft, normal, enhanced, and the rest. Full screen here, F9. Okay, you press F9 based on your system or keyboard. Okay, you see that this F9 will view full screen of your design before you continue. Okay, you have other ones, you have page sorter view and the rest. Take for instance, you have multiple pages and the rest. If you're using higher version, there's an option where you can view all, there's also an option where you can view all your pages at once. It will just line up for you. Okay, now you have your page, you have your grid, you have your guidelines and the rest. Let's move to our layout menu. Inside your layout menu, it has to do with your page setup. Okay, so if you didn't set that to the specification you needed as of when you launch the application, you can do that here. Okay, you have your insert page number based on what you put before. You have your page number setting, you can do that here, and your page setup, the same dialog box that introduced itself to us when we launch the application, is also found here. Okay, now object menu, you have your power clip. We'll get to use most of these features as time goes on, so do well to also watch the part 2 of this introductory tutorial. Okay, now we have your effects menu. Okay, those effects you want to do carry out in this environment, you can find them here. Your bitmap menu also consists of what your black and white kind of color mode, other effects, and the rest. Okay, they are all here. Most of them are not showing because no file has been opened here per se. Now look at your text. It has to do with your text, just like the name text. All the manipulation you want to do with your text is done here. Look at your table, tools, and also window and help menu. Okay, these are all the menus available on this interface. Okay, now take for instance you want to customize this your workspace. I know some persons will be using dark screen and some will be using white screen, and you say, okay, I like the dark screen. How can I set this dark screen? Now I'm going to show you how you can customize this your workspace to a dark or a darker screen, okay, darker view. Now move down to where you have your tools. Have you seen tools? Click on tools. Have you seen options? In some other version, higher version, you see customization, okay, click on it. So now for this one is what option. I'll go to option. Look at my workspace. Look at the drop down arrow. In case this wasn't, click on this workspace, drop down arrow. You see appearance. Click on appearance, and you see move down to where you have theme. Have you seen theme? Window border and desktop. Now theme is light currently, so click on it. You select dark. As you can see, automatically it has changed to what a dark theme. Now click on OK. So this is your dark workspace. This is how you customize your interface. If you're using a lower version than 2018, this might not work. It won't work because it wasn't built to work. The option is there, but it might not work. I'm very sure it won't work because this feature started working in higher versions of this application. Okay, so if you're using anything less than 2018, it might not work for you. Okay, so that is it. So we are looking at our standard bar where we have the new. Remember, this new Control plus N is also in file. You have your open and save I have explained before. Look at your shortcut icon here to import is here. Now that F9 I said for full screen. If you look at F9. If I click on it, full screen, look at that F9 shows a full screen light of my design. Now look at this place where you have your 37%. Okay, this is where you adjust the zoom level of your page, as you can see, to page, to width, to height, and the rest, okay, based on what you are doing. Okay, now we have other one. We have ruler guide here. Okay, if you click on it, your rulers will disappear. If you click on it to come back, your rulers are very important. Okay, especially when you are doing a multiple design, pages design, or a brochure, your ruler guides are very important. Now moving down to your property bar where you have your A4. Okay, like I said, this is the orientation. Look at this play portrait. Look at this other one here, landscape. This is the landscape, this is the portrait. This is how you change, you switch between orientations. Okay, this is your unit, like I said. This is millimeters, that is your units, millimeters. Okay, and again, don't go and measure in cm and come back and put and select inches. It is not the same measurement. Inches is higher than cm, so is feet higher than inches and cm. So whenever you measure with your ruler or with your tape, note the unit you are measuring with, so you will not come here and put a wrong measurement with a wrong unit, or right measurement with the wrong unit. Okay, always know the units you are using to measure offline and in the application. Okay, so always be careful when you are measuring. So that is that for the property bar. Okay, now if you measure or you put in your own measurement by yourself in this interface, it will change to custom. So even if you selected A4 and you alter this measurement, you look at this place. Have you seen where you have your 210 and 297? It's telling you that's the measurement for A4 paper size on millimeters. If I change it to inches, have you seen that's changed to 8.268 by 11.693? That is in inches. In cm is also different. Look at centimeters. It's 21 by 29.7 cm. So our default is what? In millimeters. So always know the unit. And any measurement you put by yourself, it will change to custom. It's a custom size. It's not fixed in the system or in the application. Okay, so it will be recorded as what? Custom size. Now let's look at our tools here. These are toolbox by the left, and we have our color palette by the right. Okay, now whatever design you are doing, you cannot use all these tools to design. Even those that invented this, can't use all the tools on one singular design project. It is not possible. It is not possible. Okay? Because you will be disobeying the design principles. Okay? So we are going to look at those basic tools that you cannot avoid. How they work. That's why I said stick to this video till the end, and also do well to watch the part 2 of this tutorial. Okay, so we have our toolbox here, okay, consisting of all the tools in this interface. Okay, we have our pick tool, we have our shape tool. Okay, but before I proceed, if you look at this small arrow, okay, at the bottom right of some of these tools, okay, it tells you that there are other tools under that one. That small bottom right arrow is called fly out arrow. Fly out arrow. Okay, fly out arrow shows that there are other tools inside that tool. So if I click and hold on that arrow, you see the freehand pick, free transform. These are all pick tools. Now looking at this shape tool, there's also another arrow down. Okay, click on it or hold. You see that there are other tools. The shape tool is there, F10, smooth, smear, twirl, attract, repel, smudge, and roughen. These are all tools under shape tool. Look at this other one, crop tool. Okay, the other tools under it, you have the knife tool, you know the purpose of your knife for cutting, and the rest. So is others. Now, pick tool here, the function of pick tool is to move objects from one place to another around this environment. Take for instance, I have this shape here. Let me draw this shape. Okay, this is shape. Let me add a color. Okay, now I'll remove the outline. Now look at, have you seen? I have another one here. For me to move these two colors or these two shapes from place to place, I have to use my pick tool. So pick tool is for movement. So I'm going to use the pick tool, click and hold, take it to this side, click here, take it to this side through the help of my pick tool. So pick tool is basically for what? Picking objects from one place to another within CorelDraw environment. Okay. Now let's move to the next one. By looking at what? Let's look at shape tool. Now let me bring back my shape. Okay. Shape tool. Now shape tool is used to transform. Now the easiest way to know how this tool is being used or the textual part of this tool is by just holding on that tool. You see there, look at shape tool. It say edit a curved object or text character by what? Manipulating nodes. Now shape tool is a very powerful tool. Okay, I use it a lot. It's a very powerful tool in this interface. Okay, a powerful tool that is used to what? Alter curves, transform objects, and the rest. Shape tool is very powerful, just like other tools. So shape tool here helps you to do what? Resize edges of object. Okay, take for instance, look at this object now. These are the node 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this black nodes here. Have you seen? Now look at this other one, this blue shape here. Look at the nodes 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you seen? Look at these nodes here, okay, here, and here. Now if I click on any one here, look at this node. If I click on only this node, I'm going to be able to resize only this side. Have you seen? Only the top left had been, okay, resized. That is because I clicked only one node using the shape tool. I'm going to click here again. Look at the right here. Only this place. I'm going to click and take down, hold down. Have you seen? Only that place. As you can see, the curving is not equal. Okay, that is because I selected only one node. These are called nodes. These black spots here are called what? Node. Now let me undo. If you want to curve the edges equally, okay, as you can see, the four sides have been selected. Look at the blank node 4. I'm going to click and hold on one with my shape tool, not pick tool, shape tool. I'll click and hold on one and drag inside. Have you seen? The four sides are what? They have been reshaped together and equally. Okay, and equally. That is how you use shape tool. There are other functions of this tool based on what you want to use it to do. There are other functions. Okay, so we are looking at what? The basic tools, which is what? The pick tool. We have other shapes or other tools rather that are very necessary that we can't avoid in our daily design project. Okay, which I will guide you through. So I've been able to resize this shape or transform this shape using the pick tool. Now take note, whatever tool you select, the property bar is going to change automatically. to fit that tool, to suit that tool. If I select shape tool, look at my property bar. Now we are going to move toward the next tool here. Now if you look at here, we have other tools like I said. Do well on your own to try by yourself and see what is used for you. Have the shape tool, you have the smooth tool, smooth tool. Like I said, we are going to focus on the basic tools that you can't avoid. Look at your crop tool. Just to know that your crop tool is what? For removing the unwanted part. If I use the crop tool now and apply it, I click and drag here. As you can see, okay, where it has been selected here, okay, you have about 8 nodes here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are this is the area that will be seen. So if now I double click on it, you can see that the other part is off. The other part is off because that area selected is the place I wanted. Notice that this place here, have you seen? Inside this box, that is to say that is where I want. So even if I press delete or double click, the other part that I didn't select will be off. That is how you can use the crop tool. Now we have other tools here. Let me undo. We have other tools here. Okay, we have other tools we are going to use. We have your zoom tool. Your zoom tool, just like it says, to change the magnification level of the document window. If I click on the zoom tool, okay, look at, as you can see, the property bar has changed. It's showing me 37% is what I'm viewing. The plus icon is what? To zoom in, and the minus is what? To zoom out. So if I click on the zoom tool and it's showing me a plus sign, if I click on it, as you can see, I'm zooming in, just like what is here. Zoom in and zooming in. Have you seen? Now I'm going to click on the minus sign and it's going to go back. Have you seen? That is how you zoom in and zoom out. That is it. Have you seen? If I click on the minus sign, I'll be zooming out. Okay, so inside there's another tool called pan tool. Now this pan tool, which is the shortcut, is what? H. For zoom is Z, for pan tool is H. Now for pan tool, okay, I can just move this page. It's just to move this page from one place to another. It's not outside this interface, but from one place. As you can see, I'm moving the page and shifting it from one place to another. Now that is the usefulness of what? Pan tool. Now we have other tools here, okay, like the freehand tool. We have the 2-point line. All these are tools used for lines, okay, different functions, different uses, okay. So we are going to look at this as time goes on, so that we'll know how these tools are being used. Now, like I said, we are going to be looking at what? The other tools. Now look at, we have your freehand tool here. Freehand tool for freehand drawing, as you can see. Have you seen? I'm drawing freely. I can later come and transform it. For freehand drawing, okay, it cannot be straight because you are using freehand. You can only modify this by doing what? Transforming that particular line, making it to be straight. So you can see that these are all what? Lines I've drawn freely. Now let's look at another one here. We have the 2-point line, okay. As you can see, listen, they are all lines depending on what you want to use it for. They are all lines, okay. These are all lines, okay. Now looking at another one here, we have the bezier tool. Very important. If you want to draw your horizontal and vertical line, you use your bezier tool to achieve that. Now I'm going to draw a horizontal line, okay. As you can see, my hand is still shaking because I'm not pressing down Control key. As you can see, if I draw this now, I click from the beginning to this side. Let's assume this is how I want my line to belong. For me to get a perfect line, horizontal line, I'll hold down my Control key on my keyboard. Then, have you seen where my hand is? The plus sign by my right is on a straight line with what I've drawn. I'll now click once, very fast. I'll start here. Have you seen? Here I'm joining it. Why it's joining is because I have not dropped the tool. And how do I drop the tool? I drop the tool by clicking on pick tool. So pick tool is for moving objects from one place to another, and also for what? For moving, for dropping other tools that are selected. So pick tool plays a very vital role when you are using this interface. Okay. So I'm going to draw that use that bezier tool again to draw horizontal line. Okay. So I'm going to draw that line holding down my Control key. The straight, have you seen? the line is very straight, I'll click once. Okay, I'll drop the tool, I'll click on it again, I'll draw another one. Have you seen? The plus sign is straight where that line is. I'll click once, the straight line. For the vertical line, I'm going to draw same, hold down control key. You say, okay, I've not dropped, that's why I join. I'll drop it. Now I'll select that tool again. Have you seen? Vertical line, I'm going to click once. The plus sign is straight where it is. I'll click once, that's a straight line. If I don't hold down the control key, my hand will be shaking and it might not give me a straight line. If you zoom it, you will know that it is not a straight line. That is a basic tool for you for drawing horizontal and vertical lines. And with the help of your control key, press down, it will give you a perfect straight line. We have your pen tool here. Okay, pen tool here is also for line. As you can see, have you seen? Pen tool, depending on what you want. With the pen tool, you can draw whatever you want to draw and even add color to it when you join it. So pen tool is also a very powerful kind of tool, okay, in this interface. So do well to go through this tutorial and also follow the part 2 of this tutorial so you can achieve what you want. So let's move forward to another tool. We have the pen tool which we have used. We have the B-spline, we have the polyline and other tools here. All of them are what used for line. Now the next one we have here is what we also have the artistic media tool. Okay, when you hear artistic, talking about kind of cartoon, strokes and the rest. As you can see, each version of this application has different artistic media display. For example, now this is that of 2018. If you look at that of 2024, it's different from this one. Okay, so each of them, just like they have their own different logo. When you are launching each version, it has its own similar, let's say, a special unique logo. Take for instance older version, let's say like CorelDraw X3. It has a kind of chameleon logo. If you look at that of X7, you see a pencil icon which is generally used by the whole company or the software. Then if you look at that of 2018, there's also a parachute which is also similar. Okay, so each of them have their unique logo when launching them. Okay, so that is that for this one. So artistic media tool varies by version. Okay, so whatever we display in version 2018 will be different from that of version 2024 and higher versions. Okay, so that is that for artistic media tool. As you can see, there's no drop down arrow there, signifying that there's no small arrow at the bottom right, signifying that there's no other tool there. Now look at your shape tool here, your rectangle tool. Okay, for shape, look at rectangle tool. Okay, it's used to draw what we use it to draw shapes, both rectangular shapes or square shapes. Okay, and we can also transform those shapes using what our shape tool. So look at now, if I want to draw a rectangle, you can see this is a rectangle shape. If I want to draw a square shape, look at there's a square shape. So this rectangle tool is used for what? Shape, drawing shape, rectangle and what? Square shape. There's a drop down arrow there. Use the fly out arrow. This 3-point rectangle, it has to do with shape also. Now you look at your ellipse. Ellipse tool here has to do with what? Circles. You want to draw your circle, is ellipse tool. Take for instance, I click on the ellipse tool. Look at this circle, as you can see. But mind you, this circle is not straight, it's not perfect, it's not round enough. So how can I achieve a circle that is perfect? Okay, as you can see, I can either look at I can alter this circle. So for me to draw a perfect circle, what I'll do is I'll hold down control key on my keyboard, then draw. As you can see, the edges, everything is equal. I will not alter because I'm holding the control key, and the control key automatically will do what? Will give me a perfect circle. So when I click on ellipse tool, okay, I'll hold down control key and draw. Click and draw. You can see that this is what? A perfect circle. Compared to this one that won't hold the control key. Look at my hand is shaking. Have you seen? This is not a circle. Okay, this is not a circle. But when you hold your control key, you get a perfect circle. Whatever I have beside is also part of this thing shape circle. Now you have your polygon. Look at your polygon tool here. and we have other tools inside. Polygon tool, you have your star, you have your complex star, and the rest, basic shapes and the rest, arrow shapes, they are all here. These are all the default shapes that came with this application and are installed in this application by default. Okay, so when I click on polygon, you and I know that polygon is what? Polygon has how many sides? 5 sides. Okay, so this is polygon. 5 sides. Now look at your property bar. Like I said, your property bar will always change to suit that tool you've selected. It has changed. Look at this property bar. Have you seen here where you have a polygon shape? Look at 5, telling you that it has 5 shapes. Now you have a small arrow facing up and down. Okay, it's telling you that you can increase the size or the number of size of this shape. You can increase it to 6, 7 and more. You can reduce it based on what you want. So this property bar has changed to suit this tool, so I can manipulate this tool. Now if you look here, have you seen where you have 5? I can increase it by what? Clicking the top arrow. Have you seen? Have you seen? It's increasing. Have you seen? It's increasing. Have you seen? So that is that. I can reduce it with the down arrow. Have you seen? So this is how you draw your polygon shape. Okay, let's say draw your polygon shape. Now if you look down again, you see we have other arrows and other tools there. Star, just for your star, you can see. Okay, to get the perfect star, hold down your control key, you get the perfect star. Okay, and draw just like your circle that we did before, that we drew before. Now looking at the next one, complex star, just like the name star. Okay, they are all tools used. They are tools depending on what you want to use and do. Okay, we also have other tools there. We have your impact tool, graph, paper, spiral, basic shapes. Now if you come to basic shapes, okay, now look at property bar. It has also changed. Look at this place. You have this tool. Have you seen this place where you have close to this 0.5 point pt? Have you seen? It's telling me that whatever I draw now will come out like this. Take for instance, look at, have you seen this? Look at this, and this is the same. Okay, and the property bar also does what? It has another flyer arrow. Okay, telling you that there are other shapes inside. Now look at, if I now, let's go back to that same tool. Okay, which is what? The that is under basic shapes. Okay, under basic shapes, click on basic shapes. Okay, look at this flyer arrow here. Click on it. There are other shapes inside. Look at your love shape. Have you seen? Look at your cross shape. Look at your love shape. Look at, hold your control key, draw. Look at your love. Have you seen? This is how you get some of these shapes by default. Okay, now we still have other ones there. We have the arrow shape. Arrow, you know very well for direction. So even if you click on arrow shapes, you can see that. Look at, for arrows. If you come down to your property bar where it has changed, you click on your drop down arrow. There are different arrows. Different arrows here. Okay, look at this one facing up. If you draw, it will face up. So whatever you click on is what will display. Okay, that is that. Now looking at the next one here, we have your banner shapes. Okay, these are all shapes. They all have to do with what? Shapes. That is your banner shape. Okay, looking at the next one there, we have your what? Your flyer, your color shapes. Okay, I've clicked on that banner shape. Look at, if you don't have usefulness for this, or they use for this, or they need for this, please delete it. So those are, that's why I said basic shape. I'm just going through everything so that you understand, but they are those tools which we know that we must use, like the pick tool, the shape tool, and the line, line tools, like the bezier, pen tool. All of them, they are very, very important and necessary. Just like your color shapes, all these shapes, they are what? For shapes. They are just for shapes. If you click on this drop down arrow here, look at this arrow here, fly out arrow. There are so many things you can do with them if you have need for them. Okay, so we'll move down to the next one. Text tool. Okay, looking at it, there's also a drop down arrow showing you tables. Okay, text tool. Now for you to type anything in this interface, for you to type anything at all in this interface, you must select your text tool, either through shortcut key or through the normal way. You must do what? Select the text tool. So if I want to type anything, take for instance, I want to type the word computer. Okay, computer. As you can see, Okay, as I type, don't forget, as you type, click on what? Your pick tool to drop that tool. Whatever tool you select and you want to move it, always click on pick tool. As you can see, I've clicked on my pick tool and I've been able to scale this. Now, don't come here if you want to resize. Don't come here. Look at this middle. Don't come here and do like this. It's very, very wrong. That is not part of the rules of design, that you squeeze this image like this, whether it is a picture or a text. Don't adjust from this middle here. Have you seen this middle here? Up and down. Have you seen this middle also right and left? No. You adjust from the side, this side. From here, okay, top, look at top left, okay, bottom left, top right, and bottom right. That is how you increase, you scale an object, scale your text. Don't go and compress it or shift it like this. Have you seen it looking compressed? It's very, very poor. Don't do that. So for you to resize, okay, always use the edges here. Have you seen? It will take the same form. Take note, to take the same form. So that is that for text too. Now we have two types of text. We have the paragraph text and also the word artistic text. As you can see here, paragraph text and also the artistic text. Now you might ask, what is the difference? Now, looking at this, let me click on this same text tool and draw a box. And I'll click on pick tool. Click on pick tool. Now look at, you see, click here. Have you seen? You say click here with text tool to add paragraph text. This is a paragraph text, and we mostly use this when we have lengthy text like brochure, let's say magazines, and other things that we want them to be inside the same text box. Okay, this will help us to organize our text. Now, the difference between this text box or this paragraph text and the artistic is that the paragraph text, okay, gives you a limited space to pour your text or to type. Take for instance, this is the size of my paragraph text. Mind you, that doesn't mean that when you type and it disappears from here, it is not going to be there. You can't, expand the box so you can see it. No. But it's only telling you that the artistic, okay, has unlimited space, while the paragraph text has what? Limited space. Now look at, I'm going to type here. As you can see, whatever I'm typing will be in between, just be within this box. Have you seen? It cannot go above this box. It won't. And this is that, okay, I'll keep typing until the box is filled. Have you seen? I'm typing, as you can see. Have you seen? It's still typing. I'm zooming in. Look at, I'm still typing. I'm going to copy this and paste for the sake of time. I'm going to paste it so that it will full. There's something I want to show you so that when you encounter that thing, when you are using your text to, paragraph text, you won't get confused and start wondering why that is showing. So as you can see, I've typed, you've seen that all what I've typed is from left to right, and automatically it will enter, it will drop down by itself. Okay, so I'm going to copy like I said, and I'm going to paste this same thing I've copied, though it's not valid, but I just, for the sake of this tutorial, I want to just paste it so that you see that, okay, this is how your paragraph text works, and this is how your artistic text work, so that you know where and when to use it. So I'm going to paste. As you can see, I've pasted the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to paste it. Now look at this thing is still showing black. Have you seen this border? The text box is still showing what? Black, and my cursor is blinking at the bottom here. Okay, bottom right. Now I'm going to paste another text again, another line, so that you see what I'm showing you. Mind you, this is still black, but when I paste this thing again, it's going to change to red box, red outline. Look at, have you seen? Look at, okay, have you seen? That's changed to red. Have you seen? But it was black before. Have you seen? What that means is that there are other text, okay, that there's also text that is under. That is why you are seeing this small arrow. Have you seen this arrow here facing down? It's telling you that you have to drag. Just move your mouse pointer until it changes to this arrow, up and down arrow. Click and hold down till you see the last word, or till it changes to what? A black text box or black outline. Have you seen? This is now the last thing. It has now returned to black. Okay, that means there's nothing under here again. So even when you have deleted everything here and there's nothing under here, but your cursor is still blinking under here. Take for instance here. Have you seen? Look at this place. Look at your cursor is blinking here. Your bottom left. Okay, and you now say okay, you now take this up to where you have this text. It will still show red because it's telling you that something is blinking under. You have to do what? Enlarge it, or you backspace so it won't show that red again. So always note when this your text box changes to red, just know that there is something or there are text under or a sentence under you need to enlarge so that your text won't cut, because if you leave it this way and you go ahead to print, it will cut and won't show. So take note. So as you can see, your paragraph text has limited space, okay, within that text box. Meanwhile, that of the artistic, okay, like I'll still click on the text to that of the artistic, okay, look at it doesn't have any limitation. As you are typing it's going to the right, it's even moving the page, okay, until I press enter, that is when it will enter the next line, okay. That is how these tools, this text dey work. The other one has to do with your box, limited space, and this one until you press enter, that is how it will keep going, okay. So know which one you will use for different design projects, okay. The next one we have here, we have your parallel dimension, horizontal, angular. These are all what, as you can see, lines. On your own you can try them out, okay. These are all lines. Like I said, there are tools here that even in the next 1 year we might not even use it, not because they are not useful, but based on what you are doing you won't even select it, okay. So now we have our drop shadow here. There's another fly out arrow there showing that the other tools, we have your contour, you have your blend, distort, envelope, extrude, and block shadow. In lower versions, some of these tools are not there, okay. They are not there. Now what is the difference between each version? You might ask, why are they producing higher versions on yearly basis or time to time? It is because more facilities are added to that version. Before now, we are having difficulties in operating this software, okay, to an extent. But the latest versions now, okay, the newer versions, they have helped us to achieve those things by just a click, okay, or by just a menu. So that is the difference. The higher the version, the more facilities to work with, okay, okay. So always note, if you use a lower version to design, okay, and you want to open that file using a higher version, it will open. Pay attention. If for example now, if you design in CorelDraw 2018 and you want to open it with CorelDraw 2019 and above, it will open very well. But if you design with CorelDraw 2018 and you want to open it with CorelDraw X7, it will not open. It will open a blank page. And if you try to save that blank page when you want to close, it will replace that work. So whenever you open a higher version with a lower version, a higher version file with a lower version application of CorelDraw, always ensure that when you click on close, maybe you forgot, when you click on close, just click on no, don't save it, so that it will not replace your original file. But there's a way we can open higher version files in lower version. How? By stepping down. You step down that version, okay? You step down that version. I will explain that in our next video. That's why I said do well to also watch the part 2, where I'm going to show you more practical ways you can navigate through this interface or workspace. So do well to also watch that video, that my video, okay. That is the part 2 of this beginners tutorial, okay. Do well to watch that video. I will show you how you can step down higher version to open in lower version, higher version file to open in lower version, because by default there is no higher version file that will open in lower version file. So do well to go and check out that my video. That is the part 2 of this tutorial, okay. So let's continue now. I've explained the text tool to you, I've explained other ones to you. I said we are now where somewhere around the drop shadow. Now the drop shadow helps to add, just like the name, to add shadow to your text or to your object. Take for instance, this is my object, okay? This is my object. Let's rectangle tool. Let's actually have click on rectangle tool. Let's assume I add this color. Okay, I've added this color. Okay, now I am going. Now note, before I continue, have you seen this outline here? Look at this black line showing here. Look at black line. That's called outline. To always remove it. Any shape you draw, always remove it. Always remove it. How will you remove it? Look at your color palette here. Have you seen this X here? The two palette have X on top. Just select your, always select your shape before you do anything. If you don't select it, won't work. Select your shape, click on it. Okay. Now right click, not click. Click on the shape, then go to where you have your color, where you have this X. Right click, it's telling you that you don't want outline. Right click. Have you seen it has gone off? Let me undo. Have you seen this outline? Okay, let me increase the outline so that you see that the outline is what thick. Have you seen this thick outline? I'm going to remove it by what? Right clicking on this X. I've right clicked on this X, so it has gone out. Have you seen? Let me undo. As you can see, I'll right click any of it, it will go out. Have you seen? So always remove the outline of your shape. Now I want to use the drop shadow. Drop shadow is what? For dropping, just for shadow. You've seen it. I'll click on drop shadow. Now, at the beginning of that shape, click on it and drag down. For it to be on a straight line, hold down your control key. Okay, have you seen? I will hold down, drag, and leave it. Have you seen my shadow? I can adjust from here. Look at the thickness. Now look at my property bar here. My property bar has changed. Look at, we have 50. Okay, that is the shadow stretch rather. Okay, that is the shadow stretch 50. If now I type maybe 70 and I press OK, have you seen? Now, looking at this other place, you have your shadow fade, you have your transparency here. Okay, that's opacity of your word of that shadow. If you click on 50, you select 50, you press enter. As you can see, it has reduced the opacity. Now you can also click where you have this arrow, you can reduce with here with this bar. Have you seen? It's reducing. If I want to increase it, I will increase it to be thicker. Have you seen? I'm increasing to 82. As you can see, it's thicker. Now look at your feather here. Have you seen your shadow feathering? Okay, if you reduce it or you increase it, you see how it's going to be. Have you seen? The shadow has increased, the feathering has increased. Okay, if I reduce it to, let's say, less than 15, have you seen? It is going to also do what? Have you seen? It's going to uh reduce. Now, looking at this other side, look at property. Look at now, have you seen a property bar where you have your manipulation, where you can manipulate this your shadow. Look at preset. You click on presets here by your top left. Look at preset. You have your flat top. Whatever preview you have here is how that your shadow will look like. Look at flat top. I click on flat top. Have you seen? Look at where the shadow is facing. If I click on flat bottom right, have you seen? If I click on flat left, have you seen? Flat top left. So all these, try them out. You see that these are all the kind of shadow presets, okay, where it will fit perspective top left. Have you seen? This is how it will show you. So that is how shape work. Even you can also add this shadow to your text depending on what you want to use it for. Okay, that is how drop shadow works. Now if you say, oh, I don't want this shadow again, I want to clear it without deleting that object, what you do is, have you seen this place? Have you seen this place? You have clear drop shadow, this one here with this red icon. Have you seen here? Have you seen? So look at where my mouse is moving, shaking here. Click on it and it will clear. That's clear that shape, that shadow from that shape. So move ahead. Now look at your contour here. Look at contour. Contour. Okay, contour. That is contour line. Let's, you know, most people that are doing architecture, you know what that means and the rest. Okay, that is contour tool. Okay, so contour tool, as you can see, have you seen? Those are lines, like I said, in architecture. Those that are into architecture, you know that when they hear contour, they know what it means. As you can see, even with your text, you can apply contour to it and it will work. Listen, that is contour. You just click inside and expand to wherever you want. You can click, okay, you can click on it to the middle and take up. That is the size. Okay, go to property bar, you can also transform it. Click on clear. Look at this place. Click on clear for it to go. Now the other shape there, other tools there rather, look at blend. Now use this blend, okay, to join two different objects together, whether they have two different colors. With the help of your blend tool, you can join it. Take for instance, let me duplicate this. Now look at I'm going to add red here. Have you seen red? This red and blue I have here. Okay, I'm going to use the blend tool to join them, to join these colors together and to look like one. So I'm going to click on this drop down arrow, click on blend. Have you seen? I'm going to click on one of it, drag to the right. As you can see, the red and the blue are now what together. I can adjust from here. Look at this middle, you can adjust. So your blend tool here helps you to do what? To join two different, just like the word blend. You blend two different objects together despite the colors they have. Okay, so I've been able to join those two colors together. You can do it very well. For the sake of this tutorial, I am brief and I want to keep everything short. Now distort, look at distort here, distort tool, just like the name distort. I'm going to distort this shape. Have you seen? Have you seen? Take for instance, I want to apply the same on text. Let's assume now I type the word computer and I want to distort this. Look at, I'm going to distort it. Let's assume this is it. Okay. Now I'm going to click on distort tool and I'm going to distort this text. Have you seen? Have you seen how it is? Have you seen? So distort here, okay, just like the name, it distorts what? Object and text. So that is the usefulness of what? Distort tool. Now let's go to another one there. We have envelope tool. Envelope tool. Now your envelope tool also helps you, just like you've seen the way they've drawn that one. When you use your envelope tool, it takes what? It takes the same way, just like the icon. Now look at this note. Oh, if look at this shape. If I come here, have you seen? Look at this note. I move. As you can see, I've transformed this shape. Even if I add color now, it's going to take the same thing. Same with text. The same with text. Let me still type the word computer, and you are going to see that it is going to be what? Transform to using the envelope tool. Now look at. I'm going to click on the envelope tool. I'm going to move this. Okay. Have you seen? Have you seen? Have you seen? So envelope tool, based on what you want to use it to do, we will even look at that in as time goes on, how we can use this tool. Okay, so based on what you want to do, you know that this tool is for this. Always know the function of the tool before you even select it. Know what this tool can do using this property bar, using this menu, so that your design will be easy for you. Now let's look at the next tool there we have. Let me still draw my shape. Okay, since I'm working with shape, I'll add my color and remove my outline. This is how I remove my outline. Okay, good. Now I click on what? Extrude tool. Okay, still under drop shadow, extrude tool. Have you seen? I click on extrude tool and look at. So it's like more of 3D effects. You can transform this shape to the way you want, as you can see. Same with text. So with the help of this extrude tool, you can alter this shape and turn it to a kind of 3D look, 3D effect look. Okay, 3D effect. Okay, so this tool enables us to do what? To transform object into 3D looking appearance. Okay, now let's look at the next one. You have your block shadow. For lower versions, you won't see block shadow. Okay, as like I said before, the higher the version, the higher facilities or the more facilities you work with. Okay, the lower the version, the more limited facilities you have to work with. As you can see, block shadow. Have you seen? So most of these tools we might not even use it on our design project. The next one here we have is what? After we click on block shade, the next one is transparency, and transparency tool doesn't have any fly out arrow, so there are no tools under transparency. So transparency now, okay, we use transparency a lot, okay, and it's a very powerful tool when designing. Mostly social media flyers, you use it to blend object, blend colors together, just like that of the blend tool. This one is in a very special way. You can reduce the brightness or the thickness of the color of an object, okay, so that another one can be placed on it or can be meshed and it will not look so boring or awkward. So with the help of your transparency tool, we can do so many things. So for instance, let me create or draw a shape. Okay, now I'm going to add my color. I remove my outline. Okay. Now click on what? Transparency tool. Transparency tool. Okay. Transparency tool. Now I'm going to transparent this down. So I click and hold down the control key for a uniform transparency, a straight transparency. Look at, have you seen? This downside has been faded and this up maintains that color. Take for instance, I have another color. I'm going to drop this tool now by clicking on where my pick tool. Take for instance, I have another shape here that I want to blend. Let's assume I'll give another color, blue. Okay, I'll remove the outline. I want to blend here. And I click on this to make sure you always select something. Select your object before you click on any tool or anything. If not, it will not work. A dialog box will just come out and tell you nothing has been selected. Always make sure you click something on your object before you continue. Now, if I click on the object, click on my transparency tool. If I don't click on this object, this shape, it will not affect. Now look at, I've not clicked anything. Now I'm going to click on transparency tool. Have you seen? It's not going to work. It's not, or let's assume now I've selected this tool and I want to add color. I've not, okay, let's look at now. I've not selected the tool, I've unmarked it. Now I now add color. Color is not going to add. Look at, it will add. But when I select and add color, it will add. Have you seen? So always select your object. So now I'm going to blend these two. I'm going to remember I've transparent this one. I've used the transparency on this other shape, the blue one. I'm going to also transparent this one so I can join them. Look at, I'll still click and hold up. Now look at where that black is. That black is where the effect is taking part. Look at this black. Have you seen? I've been able to blend it. Now, even if now I drop these two and join them together, have you seen? Even if I look, I'm going to adjust it now. You might think it's one background, but I've used this tool to mesh two backgrounds together, unlike the mesh fill tool. Okay, as you can see now, your transparency has done what? It has faded the edges of this, the down part and the up part of this shape. Look at one. I faded down and the other one up. The blue one I faded down, so that one up because I want to join it. Okay, that is how you use your transparency tool. Now looking at your property bar, when I click on my transparency tool, okay, let me delete one shape. Let me just use this one. Let me clear the transparency. Now let's assume I don't want any transparency again. Look at property bar. Have you seen this place? Look at this place where my mouse is. Have you seen this small box, this transparency? Click on it and you clear this effect. Have you seen? Transparency is gone. Now look at the next one. We have your uniform transparency, you have your fountain transparency, you have your vector pattern transparency, and the rest. Okay. Now if I click on this uniform transparency, what that means is that the whole image, the whole object or shape should take a uniform transparency. If for example it's 50%, it should take 50%, unlike the one we did before that some parts will be brighter than the other part. Okay, this uniform shows that everything will be what together. So I'm going to click on uniform. Have you seen? And now everything now is what the same transition. Now looking at this, have you seen where you have 50? This 50 here is where you can adjust the level. Okay, so take for instance now I want this transparency to be more. Okay, as I increase the number, it will do what? The transparency will do what? Will reduce. The more I increase, the more it will reduce. And when I reduce the number, the opacity of this color, okay, will pop up the more. So for example now I put 90 and I press enter. Have you seen? It has reduced the transparency. Now let me put 30 and you see that the transparency will now what? The opacity will come out very well. Look at, have you seen? That's come out. And if I should type 0 now, 0, that means I don't want anything. Have you seen? Now if I type 100, I've made that shape to loss. Okay, so let's leave it at what? 50 as a default. That is how you can increase and reduce your transparency. There are other options here which you can try, okay, on your own time. Look at now using that same tool. If I click on my fountain transparency, okay, there are so many options there. Look at all these ones here: elliptical, fountain transparency. You have your linear. If I click on linear, that means I want one side. Elliptical, have you seen, is at the middle. Okay, is at the middle. that is how we use this tool. With time we understand this and we will get to master this workspace. So I'll repeat, do well to watch the part 2 of this tutorial and also the video that we have that is already made, okay, on colors, so that you understand this interface better. Now let's move to the next one. We have the color eyedropper tool and we also have the word attributes eyedropper. Before now, you can't pick a color like that easily. It's difficult. If your system is not even trying to close down the application once you click that tool in lower versions, okay? But these higher versions have modernized everything in such a way that by just a click, you can do whatever you want to do. The eyedropper tools here helps you to select color, specific colors from either someone's clothes, from either an object, from either a shape or a color that you don't even know the property but you want to know. Once you use this your color color eyedropper tool, you can get that color. Take for instance, I have this color now. Let's say I put this color. This is magenta. I'll put this color. And I have a shape here, an empty shape, which I will not fill. This is just outline. And I don't know the name or the code for this word, for this color here I've selected. Okay, I don't know. And for me to make my work very easy, okay, I'll just move down to where I have my eyedropper tool. I'll click on what color eyedropper tool. Now look at, have you seen this? Look at it. Have you seen it showing me white? This area, if I come here, it will show me different environment. Now look at, it's showing me magenta. Magenta is a color. That's why I said when you go through that video that talked about colors, you know why this is showing magenta. You know which is magenta, which is cyan, yellow, and black. You will know. Okay, so do well to go through that video. Now you can see that color has highlighted. It has shown that magenta is 100. Okay, now for me to pick this color and drop in this one here, this blank one, I'm just going to look at, make sure as you move it here, it takes the color. It previews the color you're about to click. And now look at this property by saying select from desktop, it's showing white here. That's to say I have not clicked anything yet. So once I click on this red you are seeing, this pink, let's say magenta, okay, that means the professional name magenta. Once I click on it, have you seen this selected color? Have you seen here? Look at this place. That is the color that's already there. Now look at this paint bucket. That means I want to fill this color inside this one. Have you seen? So if I click once on this other one, it's going to take whatever color that is here. As you can see, I'm going to click just one, and as I click on it, it is going to do what? It's going to fill this empty box here. This empty one is going to fill it. As you can see, I filled it. Have you seen? Stressless. I don't need to crack my head. How will I get this color from this person clothes? How will I do this? When once you want to get a color, maybe bring an image and you don't know the color to use and you want to pick that color for your design, just go to your eyedropper tool, click on that color you want, make sure it changes to that color, okay, before you click. Once you click on the other box you want to, or the shape you want to fill, and it will take that measurement, or take that color rather. So let's assume this is a blue color. Okay, look at blue, and I want to fill this blue in this magenta. I'll still click on my eyedropper tool, come to where I have blue, click on blue, and I'll click on this shape, and you can see that it has selected blue, because eyedropper tool helps you to pick colors. Okay, you pick colors and fill in wherever or anywhere you want to fill it. Now the attribute own has to do with the outline. Okay, take for instance this has outline, is going to remove it. I'm going to look at these black lines here. Have you seen this black line? Have you seen? Now let me increase this outline so that you know or you see clearly. Now look at this outline. This one has a black outline. This one don't have outline. Look at. So even when I fill the same color, it's not going to take this one, because the outline here, this one here has no outline. I'm only after the color. Okay, that's the eyedropper, color eyedropper tool. But when you use the attribute, okay, and you click on it, select the attribute tool, and you click on that same color, okay, it's going to take, obviously it has removed that outline. So it's going to take the outline. So in other words, the eyedropper tool is for filling color, while the attribute eyedropper is for what? For removing or for filling the outline with the existing color. So if the other one don't have color, okay, this other one won't have color or outline. That is how that tool works. Okay, now let's move forward to we have your interactive field, which is letter G by shortcut key. Okay, and we have a fly out arrow there showing that there are other tools there, or one other tool inside there. So I'll click on my interactive field, which is G. Now I'm going to fill two colors here. Now when I apply two colors here, okay, it shows that I know the colors I want to use, and those colors must match. Take for instance, I click now on this shape, okay, this G. Remember, the transparency tool and your interactive field, they are not the same. Transparency, just like the name, you can use it to either fade, okay, transparent an object or a background. While this one mesh field, this particular one we have interactive field, you can use it to add two colors, but it looks like you are using the same pattern. Okay, you are the one using this tool, so you know how this tool works. So even if they are looking similar to that of the transparency, they are not the same. Now I'm going to add two colors at once to this shape. Now look at this is already blue, that's why I see blue here. Look at this box. I'm going to click on this other box here, and I'm going to select blue. Have you seen? With ease I've added two colors. Now if you look here, look at where you have this box. Okay, when you click on this box, you see this other arrow here. Have you seen this arrow? If I click on that arrow, it will take me to my color palette. I can come here and select any color I want. If I want red, I can add it. Have you seen? Have you seen? So do where to go to that my color videos, and you will see it. Have you seen? I'll now click what? Double click on pick two. I've added two colors using my interactive field tool. Have you seen? So it becomes one shape or two different colors that complement each other. Now, looking at the next one, now we have your mesh field. If I click on mesh field and I already selected this image, if I click once here and I add, let's say I add yellow, I click in the middle here, I add, let's say, magenta. I click here in another box, I add maybe red. Let's assume these are the colors that complement, and I click on magenta. As you can see, there are different colors that have been added here. And if I click on pick two, it looks like one background. Have you seen? It looks like one background. You can even use this to do whatever you want to do. That is if those colors are complementary, because you don't just select colors anyhow. Okay, so that is how we use that too. Okay, now we also have the smart fill. Okay, smart fill tool. As you can see, just to fill all this, they do what? They help fill colors to your shapes and objects. So I've been able to explain this to you. Now you have your color palette here, okay, by your right, which I will still recommend that video on colors. Okay, that video is on colors. You have to watch that video on colors. Okay, so always come around this channel to make sure you look for more valuable materials, okay, that you can always get. Okay, time to time I'll be updating you people with this kind of tutorials. Okay, so stick to this stick to my tutorials, and I promise you won't regret coming here. Okay, so now look at your color palettes here by your right. We have the black, we have different shades of black, we have different percentage and the rest, colors and the rest. I won't talk much on these colors because there's a separate video for it. So these are all your colors. This is blue. If you look at this other color palette here, look at this other one here by your right. Have you seen? There are two, it's looking like there are two different blue here. One is RGB and one is CMYK. Now the one by the left is what? Is CMYK kind of blue color palette, okay? Look at it, while the right is RGB. They are all blue. The difference is what? Is in that video. The difference is in that video. Now, the CMYK, like I said, is for print. The colors are not as vibrant as that of what? The RGB. The RGB also is not as dull as that of what? The CMYK. If you are going for printing, you want to print, it's the CMYK, because there are printers that are defaultly made, okay, they are made by default, okay, for only CMYK kind of colors. That doesn't mean if you bring your RGB kind of design, it won't print. It will print, but you will not get the exact colors on screen. Okay, so always make sure you know the color mode you are using. Okay, always make sure you know the color mode you are using. Now, this is for print, which is the same way here, and the RGB here. Okay, this other one is for what? Let me separate it for you. That is CMYK. That is the one by your left. Okay, then I'll also have by my right the RGB. Okay, now the CMYK stands for what? C is for what? Cyan, CYAN. Then we also have the magenta M, that's the M, which is what? MAGENTA. And we have yellow here, and we have K. K here stands for black or key. Key or black is the same thing. Then the RGB, you have red, green, and blue. Okay, like I said, the two palettes are different, one for the print and one for the print media, and the other one for online. So always know which one you are using. So that is that for colors. These are all the palettes we have. Okay, whenever you want to use it, just click on it and you will see those colors will be applied. Okay, so in our next tutorial, in our next video, okay, you will learn more about this interface. Okay, so do well to like. I know you've learned something, so stick to what you learn and come back here for more. Thank you.